This is Lake Mead. Formed by the Hoover Dam, it is the largest reservoir in the southwestern United States. It supplies water to millions of people. Water flows into the lake from the deep canyons of the winding Colorado River. The 1,400-mile-long river is a vital water source for 7 U.S. states and 2 Mexican states, 11 national parks, and is a vital source for some 40 million people in the U.S. and Mexico. These canyons are carved by the river and draw 5 million visitors every year, making the canyons a premier natural attraction on Earth, boosting the region's economy. Lake Mead begins where the Grand Canyon ends, but something's changed. As seen by the telltale bathtub ring, the water has been lower here than it has in past years. Open water has given way to mudflats and dirt banks. The reservoir's decline isn't due solely to human overuse. It's happening because less water is flowing into the Colorado from the river's headwaters in the interior west. Meanwhile, temperatures are rising. Both of these trends are likely to continue. Downstream in Arizona, the 14th most populous state, is also one of the most arid places in the country. Land that was once desert is in many places now lush with thirsty crops. The Central Arizona Project, or CAP, slices through hundreds of miles of open desert to Phoenix, Tucson, and vast areas of farmland. In Arizona, farmers use around 80% of the water taken from the Colorado and irrigate hundreds of thousands of acres of otherwise desolate land. However, there is other competition for this resource as well. In this harsh and unforgiving land, Phoenix is the 5th largest city in the country, with 1.6 million people, and the 12th largest metropolitan area, with almost 5 million people. And those numbers are still growing. People's desire to tame nature is not a new idea, but the scale on which it is done in Phoenix is mind-boggling. And with a growing population and rising annual temperatures, the problems of a water shortage seem to be looming on the horizon. City dwellers aren't likely to be the first to feel the effects of a shortage, as they consume only around 20% of the water, as opposed to farmers' 80%. Despite the smaller impact when compared to agricultural use, the sometimes frivolous expenditure of said water in the city should give pause and raise questions about the conservation effort, climate issues, and attitudes towards usage of the limited resource. The 2 giant Colorado River reservoirs, Lake Mead and Lake Powell, can store more than 4 years of the river's flow. They were designed to provide a reliable water supply in a climate where rain and snow are unpredictable. But since about the year 2000, the flows in have been getting smaller. Rising temperatures are evaporating water faster than before, as Rocky Mountain tributaries deliver less rain and snowmelt. This has led to the reservoir levels shrinking to only 40% of their capacity. With a warming climate and growing population, the need for this water and its availability are reaching a crossroads as they head in opposite directions. The federal government says it's likely that states will have to cut back on their Colorado River use, possibly as early as 2020. In Arizona, CAP deliveries might drop by a third. This has led to intense negotiations between agricultural and municipal users, and to a state drought management plan that was approved in early 2019. Under the plan, farmers in Pinal County would face the biggest cuts. If Lake Mead keeps dropping, many farmers would get no cap water at all, starting in 2023. In the long run, cities such as Phoenix and Tucson will also have to cut back on cap water as the Colorado's flow diminishes. Creating the Southwest's complicated water delivery system was one of the great engineering feats of the 20th century. Keeping it going in a hotter, drier future will be one of the region's great challenges in the 21st century.